All right, today's lesson is on volume. I know you spent a lot of time in fifth grade on volume. So volume is looking at a three-dimensional shape and it's basically being able to fill it up. Okay, so it's looking at length, width, and height. So to find the volume, you're simply going to multiply the length times the width times the height. All right, so let's just do a quick review on that really quick. So if I look at this, again, it's length times width times height. So I'm simply going to multiply. So my length times width times height. So length 7 times 9 times 5, all multiplication. So 7 times 9 is 63, times 5 would be 315 yards. Now, because we are multiplying length times width times height, that is going to be to the third power. So 315 cubic yards, okay? So go to the next one, length times width times height, 10. Sorry, my pen is going crazy. 10 times 6 times 3. So 10 times 6 is 60, times 3 is 180 millimeters cubed, or cubic millimeters, okay? So that was kind of the fifth grade stuff. So now for sixth grade, we're looking at fractional and decimal numbers. So it's the same thing. You're still going to multiply length times width times height, but now you've got decimal forms. So not a big deal. So instead of a half, you can work on it as fractions. You can do a half times a half times a half, or you can simply turn it into a decimal if you want to use your calculator. So that's just 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. So 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.25 times 5 would be 0.125 inches cubed, cubic inches. Okay, same thing for a fourth. So a fourth, so if you look at this, you know this is a cube here. They're only giving you one dimension here because it's a cube. So that means everything is a fourth. So a fourth times a fourth times a fourth. Again, I'm going to turn it into a decimal because it's easier. So that's just 0.25 times 0.25 times 0.25. I'm going to grab my calculator, and it comes out to be this is a really small number, 0.015625 feet cubed, okay? So not a big deal, you're just working with decimals, okay? The next part for a fraction, for sixth grade now, is you're gonna be given a figure, okay? So this is my figure. It says determine how many purple packages or green packages would fit into the white storage bin. So I want to know how many of these will fit inside of there. Okay, so here's what you need to do in order to solve that problem. So you're going to have to, number one, find the volume of the big container. We'll call that volume 1. You're going to then have to find the volume of the second container, and then you simply divide them. That's it, guys. Not a big deal, okay? Not a big deal. So let's do a practice. So I'm going to look at this one first. So this is my original container. This is what I want to figure out. So that would just be length times width times height. So 24 times 8 times 12. So I want to find the volume of the first one. That's the volume of the first one. So I'm going to grab my calculator here. Let's see. So I'm going to grab my calculator. So 24 times 8 times 12. That would be 2,304 meters cubed. Oops, sorry, cubed. Sorry. And then I need to find the volume of this one, the second container over here. So this is the volume of the second one. So that's 24 times 4 times 6. So 24 times 4 times 6, and that equals 576 meters cubed, meters. Okay, so now I'm simply going to divide these two. Okay, you divide the original one, volume 1, divided by volume 2 of the second one. So 2304 divided by 576. Grab my calculator. 2304 divided by 576. And it comes out to be 4. So I could fit 4 of these purple ones inside of here, 4 of them. Okay, now let's try how many of these I would be able to put in. So the volume of this one would be 8 times 4 times 3. So 4 times 3 is 12 times 8, that would be 96 meters cubed. So I'm going to do the same thing. So 2304 divided by the volume of this one, divided by 96. 2304 divided by 96. That's going to come out to be 24. So 24 of those would fit in there. Okay, not bad, right? If by chance this answer comes out to be a decimal, don't ever round. You're just going to keep the whole number because you can't put anything extra in there. Okay, so let's do this one. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to find the volume of this one, and I want you to find the volume of this one. So pause the video and find the volume of these two figures first. I want to know how many of these, it says toothpaste, would go into the larger box. Okay, so pause the video and come back when you have the volumes for both of them. All right, check your volumes. All right, so now if I want to know how many of these will fit inside, I'm simply going to take the big box and then I'm going to divide it by however many, the volume of this one. So divided by 36, it comes up to be 550. So I would be able to put 550 inside of there. Okay. All right, you pause the video and I want you to figure out how many books would fit into this one. You pause the video and come back only when you have your answer. All right, check your answers. So here's the volume of the first one, the volume of the second, and then I divided. This one came out to be a decimal. Okay, all I want is the whole number. You're not going to round up because you could not fit another book inside of there. It would have just been 78. Okay. All right, so here's another one right now. So now the difference with this one is now I've got fractions. Okay, not a big deal, not a big deal. You're just going to sit there and turn them into decimals. So 1.5. So the volume of the big box here, I want to know how many 1/4 inch cubes is going to fit inside of here. So first let's find the volume of this one. So that's 1.5 times 1 times, that's 3 3/4. So that's 3.75. Okay, 3.75. If you don't know that 3/4 is 75, you could have just divided 3 divided by 4 in your calculator, and it comes out to be 0.75. Okay. So when I multiply all of that out, it comes out to be 5.625. So now I need to know the volume of a 1/4 inch cube. So that's just a 1/4 is 0.25. So 0.25 times 0.25 times 0.25. And that comes out to be 0.015625. Don't round that, just keep the whole thing. Since we're using calculators, not a big deal. All right, so now I'm just simply going to divide. So 5.625 divided by the 0.015625. That's a very small number, so that means there should be a lot of these little bitty cubes. A 1/4 of an inch cube is like that much. It's not very big. So when you divide that out, it comes out to be 360. Okay? All right. All right, so you're going to do a couple of these by yourself on Classkick. I would suggest that maybe you write these two down. I think that would help you to know that a 1/2 inch cube, this is the volume of a 1/2 inch cube. This is the volume of a 1/4 inch cube. I think you're going to use that quite often. So rather than keep figuring it out, you can use those there. All right. All right, guys. Again, remember you are going to define the volume of the big one, the volume of the small one, and then just divide them. Okay. All right. Have a great day.